good morning for all of those joining me. I appreciate you. So this is an early morning stretch instead of a morning stretch. Those of you rewatching, it's just a stretch. So take it or leave it. I hope you take it. I'm grateful when you take it. So we will start today in a seated posture and move through more of a flow. Usually on the other sequences of the week, we kind of keep it a little bit lower, longer holds. So if you would, join me in a comfortable seated posture. So whatever that looks like for you, you guys know the drill by this point. Find your sit bones connected with the earth. We are going to root to rise. So that means bring the lower half of your body, allow it to feel that connection with the earth, start to feel your body grounded. So maybe that means even the fingertips are connected, and then draw your alignment into place. So bring the top of the head up towards the sky, lower the chin just a little bit towards the chest, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Invite the eyes to soften. Maybe that means they close, maybe that means they just become still right in front of where you are seated. If cross-legged is not comfortable for you, I invite you to place like a pillow or a blanket under your hips, or even extend the legs. Some people love having something underneath their knees if they're sitting in cross-legged. So just a couple of options for you. Maybe take one deep breath just to get the body settled in. And then I invite you to bring the body to stillness and just notice. So scanning from the top of the head all the way to the bottoms of the feet, notice where the body feels any tension or tightness. Notice where the body feels really good. Check in and notice how you're holding your body today. Maybe you're protecting that heart a little bit. If that's the case, bring the shoulder blades together a little bit closer. Soften that jaw. Soften the skin of the face. Continue to notice without judgment. So noticing without judgment, just so that you are mindful and aware of where the body is this morning. It's all a little bit earlier for us, so maybe it takes a little bit longer to warm up this morning. See if you can soften the legs towards the earth just a little bit more. Lengthen the spine up towards the sky. And breathe. Start inviting that deep breath in through the nose. Expand the belly, expand the ribs, sip into the chest. Long, slow exhale to release, draining from the chest, the ribs, drawing the belly button in towards the backbone. See if you can hold at the bottom and hold at the top to lengthen the breath even more. So really drawing this, feeling the stomach rise as you inhale. Really drawing that breath in. Let's see if the breath can replace coffee today. Just kidding. Maybe it does. Long, slow, intentional breath in through the nose. Long, slow exhale either through the nose or through the mouth. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. So on the inhale, try not to let the shoulders rise. Allow them to be released. Two more deep breaths. Expand. Hold at the top. Exhale, release, slowly draining that breath. Draw the navel in towards the backbone, hold at the bottom. One last time, make this your longest breath. And then release the breath to neutral. So no change in it. Maybe keep the eyes closed, maybe draw the hands up towards the knees. Maybe start receiving some of the energy that you're starting to build by bringing the backs of the hands towards the knees. vibration of the body in the palms of the hands. Maybe scan from the top of the head all the way to the bottoms of the feet. Noticing once more. And then on the next exhale, draw the chin down towards the chest. Opening up the very top of the spine, the neck. Taking your time, but really making little micro movements with the chin in either direction of the shoulder. Just to see if you can release and soften some of the tightness you might be holding in the neck. Keeping the jaw soft, keeping the breath flowing. One more deep inhale. On the exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale, we're opening the arms, coming into a seated cow pose. Bringing the shoulder blades together, strengthening the arms. Exhale, we round. Release the chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone under. So you're almost leaning back here. Rounding the spine, opening the shoulder blades. Inhale, open. So maybe even arching the back just a little bit. Exhale, we round. Inhale, open. One last exhale. And come back to neutral. Release the right ear to the right shoulder. Fingertips are released down towards the mat. Maybe walking the left fingertips away from the body, keeping them connected. And then slowly on the next exhale, plant the right hand, sweep the left arm up and over, bending into the right elbow. Opening up the side body. And then on the next exhale, coming back to neutral. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale, bring the fingertips out in front and forward fold. So a seated forward fold. Remembering we're warming up, so no need to go too far. And then just walk the hands off to the right hand side. Planting the left hand over the right. On the next exhale, coming back to center, release the chin to the chest, roll all the way up. Left ear to left shoulder, fingertips are planted on the mat. Walking the right fingertips away from the body. Continue that breath, soften the jaw. On the next exhale, plant the left hand, bending into the left elbow, sweeping the right arm up and over. Core is engaged. Soften the jaw. Continue to breathe. On the next exhale, coming back to neutral, inhale, sweeping the arms up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Walking the hands away from the body. And then walking the hands to the left hand side, right hand on top of left. On the next exhale, coming back to neutral, release the chin to the chest, roll all the way up, planting the hands on the knees, sitting up nice and tall. So engaging the core, finding our alignment again. And then slowly circling the torso in one direction and the other. So taking your time, this can be as exaggerated or subtle as you'd like. Just listen to where your body is today. So as we come forward, we're arching the spine. And as we come back through, we are scooping. So we are, so I guess it's almost like cat-cow. So as you come back, you're almost in the cat pose. And as you come forward, it's as if you're in cow pose. So release those shoulders, soften the jaw. slowly in one direction. As you start to feel any tug or tension, really just take a moment and hold it. So when we feel that tension, maybe see if you can just hold the spot just a moment more, continuing the breath. One more time around. And then reverse directions. Deep inhales and exhales. Getting rid of that sleep. Maybe some of you have been up for a while. I actually snuck in a cup of coffee before this, just to make sure I'd be alert. One more time around. And then come to neutral. And then giving our legs a break, sweeping the legs underneath, coming into our tabletop. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And then in the morning especially, I always try to start with the right side. Sometimes that doesn't really translate for when I'm doing demonstrations on the video, but always the idea is starting on the right side. It kind of follows the flow of the intestines. So you know where I'm going with this. So especially in the morning, like when we're doing our sun salutations, always stepping back with the right and then stepping forward with the left. So we're in our tabletop, we're going to start with the right hand side. Bring the left hand towards neutral, engage the core, nice long spine. Lifting the right arm up and over for a spinal twist. Listening to your body, really bringing those hips back to neutral. So when I lift my right arm, my hips naturally move to the right. So we want to square them with the front of the mat. And then on the next exhale, we release the right arm, walk the hands forward into puppy pose. Try to release those hips right back over the knees, and then sink the arms down, release the forehead towards the earth. So this is also a hard one to kind of feel that the hips are stacked over the knees. I always just press the hips back just a little bit. Try not to walk my hands forward too much. And then release the forehead towards the floor. Maybe the forehead meets the floor, maybe it doesn't. No wrong answer. Pressing the fingertips into the earth. Soften that jaw. Holding the pose, not the breath. And then on the next exhale, walking the hands back to neutral. And then bring the right hand towards center. Release the left arm up and over. Adjusting the hips, square with the front of the mat. Soft jaw, continue to breathe. So pressing that right hand into the mat, so releasing the right shoulder from the ear. And then slowly exhale. Walking the hands forward into puppy pose one last time. Hips stacked over the knees. Soften the breath. Soften the jaw. Release the top body towards the earth. On the next exhale, walking the hands just one or two hand prints, so not right under the shoulders. Turn the toes under, sending the hips high into downward dog. Noticing it's the first downward dog, so keeping the knees soft, our ears are between the arms. Fingertips and palms pressed into the earth. Slowly pedal the heels one down at a time. Core is engaged, head and neck are soft. One more breath. And then look between the hands. Slowly step the feet forward, coming into your forward fold. So maybe we step the feet apart just a little bit here. Soften the knees so that you can rest the whole top body on the lap. Releasing the head down. Maybe holding on to opposite elbows here, maybe hugging behind the knees. Maybe nod the head yes, shake the head no. And then on the next exhale, release the hands. And then slowly roll the body all the way up. I always take an extra moment when I get to the shoulders and try to let the whole top body hang just a little bit because it feels really good on my shoulder blades. Chin is still tucked in towards the chest. Slowly rolling all the way up. As we rise into mountain pose, strengthen the body. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Core is engaged, palms together. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, pressing the palms overhead. Exhale, open the arms, swan dive all the way down, bending the knees generously to get the hands planted. Stepping right foot back, left to meet into high plank. Always being able to invite low plank here. We're just starting out. Shoulders over the wrists. If you're staying in high plank to lower, then we're going to send the body forward and then bend the elbows. From low plank, just tuck the elbows in and lower down slowly. Sweeping up into cobra. Tops of the feet connected. Shoulders are released away from the ears. Exhale, turn the toes under, coming back to down dog. Take 3 breaths in downward facing dog. And then next, exhale, slowly come into plank pose. So high plank or low plank. We're moving into 3-legged dog from here. So maybe just taking 1 breath in high plank. And then exhale, send the hips back high, lifting the right leg for 3-legged dog. So not opening the hips here, just keeping the hips square with the front of the mat. On the next exhale, bend the right knee, step the right foot forward. Lower the back knee, top of the back foot connected. And then slowly, heel toe, walk that foot off to the right hand side, coming into lizard pose. So we're not going real deep with this today. We're just still allowing this to be part of sort of our warm-up. I mean, we're into it, but we're going a little bit easier this morning. So maybe walking that right foot off the mat or partially off the mat. Both hands are on the inside of the right foot. So try and bring that right knee over the right ankle. Press the earth away from the body. If you want to go deeper, you can turn the back toes under and power up that leg. So you can press into that left leg straight. Try and think about having a long spine, core stays engaged. Another way you can go deeper is to keep the knee planted and come down to forearms. You can also use a blanket, a block, to bring the earth a little bit higher. So whatever's feeling good for you today. On the next exhale, turn the back toes under and then release the right leg back into downward dog. This can go in stages. You can go through tabletop here. It doesn't have to be a powerful move. Taking your time. We're going to stay in downward dog for a couple of breaths. Pedal those feet out. Jaw is soft. Look between the hands and step or walk the feet forward into forward fold. On the next inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Core is engaged, palms pressed together. Exhale to heart center. So from our mountain pose, we're going into a mountain twist. I'll be opening to the right hand side. I'm going to turn around so that I can see you so that it's a little more pleasing on your end if you need to peek and see what I'm talking about. So from mountain pose, inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Whole body is engaged. So when we do mountain pose, the legs, the core, the glutes, everything is engaged. On the next exhale, open the arms out to the right hand side. So sweeping, coming into a mountain twist. Eyes are looking out towards the right fingertips. Soften that breath. On the next exhale, step back with the right foot, big wide step. So coming into our triangle pose. So I'm going to turn around at this point just so you can see me. So for triangle pose, we have, so we step back, I'm sorry. So stepping back with the right foot. So the right toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. The left toes are pointed towards the front of the mat. Engage the core. Square the hips off. And then on the exhale, we're going to reach as far as we can with the left fingertips. And then release left fingertips up, sweeping the right arm towards the sky. So thinking about stacking right shoulder over left, maybe even opening the chest just a little bit more. On the next exhale, maybe a slight bend in that left knee, coming all the way up. And now I'll turn. So coming into your star pose. So legs are strengthened, arms are strengthened, shoulders released away from the ears. And then just the same concept as we used with our triangle. Keeping the torso in between those 2 panes of glass. So from star pose, we're bending into the knees, bending the elbows into goalposts. So we're just elevatoring. Is that a word, elevatoring? I don't think it is. I think you know what I mean though. So lowering the torso down. If this is too strong for you, you can flow with this. So just straighten and lower with your breath. Soften that jaw. If you want a little bit more, go a little bit deeper, and then slowly rise. Bring the hands to the hips, turn the toes to the long edge of the mat, and then inhale, we lengthen, exhale, send the hips back, keeping the back flat, lengthen, stopping halfway, checking in, and then releasing the fingertips down. If you want to go a little bit further, you can heel-toe walk slowly and slightly, the feet apart, coming into our wide-legged fold. So lots of places to stop here. You can stop with fingertips or fists connected, palms planted, or if you feel like you want to go further, you can come all the way down to forearms or send the hands through the legs, bringing the top of the head towards the floor. Soften the jaw. Continue the flow of the breath. You can also stop just halfway, keeping the hands on the hips. One more breath. And then on the exhale, using the hands for a little bit of leverage, heel-toe walk those feet back to where they are. Slowly bring the hands to the hips and come all the way up. Good. And then I'll send myself back to keep us in the right direction. And then we're going to turn the left toes towards the front of the mat, pivot on the right toes. So we're coming back to the front of the mat. And then bending into that left knee, sweeping the arms up and over for high runner's lunge. Pressing into the right heel, left knee over left ankle, and then slowly come back to our mountain pose. Sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together, exhale to heart center. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Whole body is engaged. Slow the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over, palms pressed together. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Bending the knees generously to plant the hands, stepping right leg back, left to meet high plank or low plank. Adjust shoulders over wrists. If you're staying in high plank, instead of pressing into the heels, send the torso forward, bending the elbows, stopping halfway, sweeping up into upward dog. If you were in assisted plank, just slowly lower and either come up to cobra or up dog. Exhale, turn the toes under, sending the hips high for downward dog. Slowly coming into high plank. So we're setting up for the other side. Take a couple of breaths in high plank. And then slowly sending the hips back up, lifting the left leg high. 3-legged dog. Look between the hands, and then bending that knee, sending it forward to the outside of the left hand, setting up for lizard on the other side. So even if you just come into the low runner's lunge and then bring the arm to the other side, do what feels good. So left knee is over the left ankle. It's hard to tell with these with these yoga pants. But feeling that nice stretch for just a moment. If you want to go deeper, you can either come down to the forearms here, walking the foot out to the side just a little bit more, or keep the hands planted and then turn the toes under, strengthening the right leg. One more breath here. And then on the exhale, release that right knee, sending the left leg back, pressing back into our downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in down dog. You guys can see the sun is coming up here in Odessa, Florida. Always a sign of hope for me. Looking between the hands, stepping or walking the feet forward, coming into forward fold. Take a couple of deep breaths here. On the next inhale, sweep the arms up and over. We rise to the mountain pose. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, pressing the palms overhead. Exhale, opening to the left side. So strengthen those arms. Turn the eyes towards the left hand. Deep inhales and exhales. On the next exhale, stepping back with the left foot. Big wide step. So the right toes are towards the front of the mat. Left toes are pointed towards the long edge, coming into triangle on the other side. So taking a moment, squaring off the hips. Arms are strong and strengthened here. Bring the shoulder blades together. Soften the jaw. On the next exhale, reach the right hands as far as you can away from the body towards the front of the mat. Release the right fingertips to the inside of the right leg, sweeping the left arm up and over. So thinking about that 2 panes of glass, and then stacking the shoulders one on top of the other. Maybe opening this left arm just a little bit to open up the chest and the heart space. One more deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, maybe bending into the front leg and coming all the way up and shaking it out. So keeping the toes pointed towards the corners of the mat, coming back into our star pose. Strengthen the arms. Strengthen the core, strengthen the legs. And then slowly bending the knees, bending the arms, coming back into goddess. You can flow with this. So on the inhale we rise, the exhale we lower. If the arms are too much, the arms actually feel like too much to me. I don't know. Listen to your body. I'm showing you can do that. And again, we're elevating. It's not the right word. We are sending the torso straight down as if it were on an elevator. I don't know. Somebody give me a suggestion there on how I could say that a little bit better. Always, if you need a break, straighten the legs. One more breath. On the exhale, we rise. Turn the toes towards the front of the mat. Hands on the hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, send the hips back. Stopping halfway. The further we get into the sequence, the more warmed up the body is. So maybe we go a little bit further on this wide-legged fold. Release the fingertips towards the earth. Heel, toe step the feet apart if that feels good. Decide where you're going. Maybe forearms. Maybe sending the hands all the way through. Drawing the top of the head towards the floor. Wherever you stop, deep inhales and exhales, keeping that jaw soft, On the next exhale, slowly heel toe walk the feet back a little bit closer, hands to the hips, lengthen the spine, and slowly come up. So we're pivoting back into our high runner's lunge. So right leg is forward, pressing into the left heel. Right knee over, right ankle. Sweep the arms up and over. 2 more deep breaths here. And then stepping forward, going right into our chair pose. Long spine, engaged core. So bending into the knees, trying not to swoop or tuck the back under. Just keep a nice long spine. If it feels too much for the arms, then bring them back to heart center or to the hands on the hips. On the next exhale, release the hands all the way down, stepping right leg back. Left to meet, high plank. 2 more deep breaths in high plank. And then releasing all the way to the ground, your choice, either assisted plank to lower or chaturanga. Stopping halfway, sweeping the body up, coming into cobra. 3 breaths here. Slow that breath down. And then slowly release the whole body to the mat. One hand on top of the other, forehead release to the top of the hand. Soften the whole body. Take 5 deep breaths here. So not holding on to any muscles. Forehead is connected. The forehead connected to a hard surface helps us to ground the body or feel the connection. So when we're having moments of anxiety or high stress, or sometimes I like to call it like I'm just feeling untethered, like I feel like I can't quite focus or bring my mind to where it needs to be. If you bring that forehead to a hard surface, it helps your brain to retether, to reconnect, to ground. So when you're having those moments of high anxiety, try to remember forehead towards a hard surface. So that's why child's pose is so good for relaxing. But just stretching out, one hand on top of the other, forehead released, that works too. Bending at the knees and then windshield wipering back and forth to release any pressure from the lower spine. And then just releasing the left leg, raise the torso up just a little bit, maybe not to Sphinx, maybe just left forearm parallel with the front of the mat, and then sweep the right arm back. See if you can catch the pant leg, or if you can reach the top of the foot, press the top of the foot into the hand while you're getting that great quad stretch. Shoulders are still released here. So try not to sink in like this. Try to lift and lower those shoulders. One more breath. And then slowly switching sides. So now the right forearm is parallel with the front of the mat. Bending the left knee. Pressing the left foot into the hand. And then bending both knees, sweeping the arms back. If bow pose is not available to you, keep the forearms on the floor. Chest is lifted, shoulders released, and just bend the knees in towards the hips. If you can go into bow, or you can go back to the modified. Bow pose, as we hold on to the tops of the feet, pressing the tops of the feet into the hands, it lifts the knees, the chest is lifted. When you take a deep inhale and exhale, you might even feel the body rocking back and forth. Shoulders released away from the ears. Try to draw the knees towards each other, so maybe not wide, try to draw them in towards each other. One more breath, and then exhale, release everything down. One hand on top of the other, forehead released. One more deep breath, and then bending the knees, windshield wipering back and forth. And then release the legs down. Bringing the hands next to the chest, pressing the body up into baby cobra. Either hold baby cobra for 5 breaths, or you can flow with it. So on the inhale, we rise. The exhale, we lower. 5 breaths. And then exhale on the 5th breath. Take just a moment. And then press the earth away from the body, coming into child's pose. As always, I bring the knees together here for this child's pose. I kind of, I like either way. You can keep the arms extended or sweep the arms next to the side. I choose this one because when we've done a bunch of back bends, this one counteracts and drapes the spine in the opposite direction. One more deep breath here. And then slowly draw the chin to the chest, rise all the way up. If you like hero pose, stacking ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. If you don't like releasing the hips down to the heels, you can always rise up. If you have limitations in your knees, put a blanket or double up the mat there. Maybe just resetting the spine, moving the neck one side to the other, maybe the chin to the chest here. Take just a moment and stretch those arches. So coming up on the knees and then planting the toes, sitting the hips back. Again, if you don't love like the pressure, I don't know, this feels great on my arches. I have some good stable flip-flops. I don't always wear them. So this feels good on the arches. But listen to what you need today. One more breath. And then slowly exhale, come into a seated posture. So cross-legged, taking just a moment, reset the spine and the alignment. And then taking left hand to right knee, inhale, we lengthen, exhale, we twist. Deep inhales and exhales. Releasing that left shoulder down. And then slowly unwind, setting up for the other side. So always resetting the spine in between twists. And then right hand to left knee, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Release that right shoulder away. And release. So coming halfway to your mat. We're going to work with boat pose. We had this set up for last week, and I'm sure many of you saw my post about my dog, and so that sequence got dismissed. So we're at least going to visit this part of it. So we're going to work with boat pose, but we're also working with our obliques to the side of the abs. So just like we started the sequence, we're going to round the arms as if we're doing kind of your seated cat pose, but we're going to turn the arms like round to the side while we're in boat pose. You guys know there's so many modifications for boat pose. If it's too much for you to float the legs and twist, then we plant the feet, or we even just bring toes connected, okay? So no, there's lots of options. If none of that feels good and you just want to stay in boat pose or release the hands behind, listen to what your body needs. You're the boss of you. I'm just here to lead the way for the day. Okay, so coming into boat pose. So instead of sitting on the sit bones, we're going to rock back, nice long spine. Float the feet and the legs halfway. I always kind of enjoy this halfway mark. So I strengthen the arms. Core stays engaged, jaw stays soft, palms are lifted towards the sky. So take a couple more breaths here. Play with the idea of extending those toes away from the body without losing the long spine. And then let's release. So, getting used to what the boat pose feels like, and then getting ready to do our oblique twists. So we're going to hold each twist for 5 breaths, okay? If that's too much, just come back to boat pose and put your feet down. Okay, so inhale, we lift, round those arms, starting with the right side. As we twist, soften that jaw. Continue the flow of the breath. You can always put the feet down. Shoulders are released. Core stays engaged. One last exhale. Come back to neutral and then release down. Take just a moment. How'd it feel? Hard, a little bit hard maybe. That's okay. A little bit hard's okay. You're going to feel amazing after you have your coffee. I hope. Okay, come back. Float the legs, round the arms. Now twist to the left. Keep the flow of the breath moving through the body. That's where the magic is. The breath is magic. One more breath, deep through the nose. Long, slow exhale, coming back to neutral, and then release. And then tucking those knees into the body. Give yourself a hug, maybe a kind word. Maybe encourage yourself today. And then slowly roll the body all the way down towards the mat. Hug those knees in one last time. Rocking side to side. And then holding onto the knees, circling in one direction. And circling in the other direction. Sending both legs up towards the sky, flexing the feet. And then draw the right leg towards the chest, maybe clasping hands behind that right thigh. Inhale, bring the nose to the knee, lower the left leg down. Core is engaged, shoulders released. If it's too much to hold the nose towards the knees, always release the head back down. And then slowly release, bring both legs back up towards the sky, switching sides, so holding behind the left thigh. Inhale, as we rise, we lower the right leg down. And then bring both legs back up towards the sky, release the head to the floor. Flexing the feet, taking just a moment and legs up the wall, remembering if you have a wall nearby, this feels amazing. Just scoot the hips up next to the baseboard and then release the legs. Then the wall becomes a yoga prop. But until then, bring the bottoms of the feet together, coming into inclined butterfly, using the elbows as leverage to release the hips a little bit more, pressing the bottoms of the feet together. So notice how it feels, just the bottoms of the feet touching, and then how it feels to press the bottoms of the feet together. One more deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, crossing right leg over the left, draw both knees in. I think this is one of my favorite stretches. And then uncross the knees, open the arms up into a T. Release the knees to the left-hand side, looking out over the right. Both shoulders release to the earth. To deepen the stretch, you can place a hand right on top of the thighs. It gives you just a little bit more leverage to twist, or you can extend the legs long. One more breath. And on the exhale, slowly bring the knees back to neutral. Reset the spine. And then crossing left leg over right. Draw the knees in towards the chest. On the next exhale, uncross the legs, open the arms into a T. Release the knees towards the right. Shoulders are both connected to the earth. Looking out over the left. Deepen the stretch if that feels good. Soften the jaw. On the next exhale, release both knees back to neutral. Reset the spine. Sending the bottoms of the feet up towards the sky again. Engage the core. Release those shoulders. And then slowly lower the heels all the way to the earth, setting up for Shavasana. As the heels start to connect, take a moment. See if your body needs anything else before we rest. So if you need another inversion, or if you just need to bring the knees in one last time, go for it. If you're ready to rest, release the legs. Allow the feet to naturally open. Soften those shoulders away from the ears. Arms are released to the side, palms facing up. Maybe draw the chin in towards the chest just a tiny bit. Soften. Feel the vibration of the body in the palms and the soles of the feet. Soften the tops of the feet. Release each toe one at a time. Release the tension from the legs. Soften the hips. Release any tension from the lower spine. Relax the stomach. Open the shoulder blades. Release any tension from the upper spine. Pressing the shoulders down towards the earth, opening the heart and the chest. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Release any tension from the arms. Soften the tops of the hands, releasing each finger one at a time. Release any tension from the neck. Soften the jaw. Release the cheeks, the ears, the nose. Soften the eyes and the forehead. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. On the exhale, release from the top of the head, closing the eyes. Releasing all the way through the bottoms of the feet. For just a few moments, I'll let you rest, and then you'll hear my voice again. you start to hear the sound of my voice, start bringing awareness back to your space. Noticing your stillness. Noticing the breath. Inviting small movements into your fingers and toes, maybe taking a stretch overhead. As you feel ready, slowly rolling to one side, maybe drawing the knees in towards the chest and keeping the eyes closed. Allow the body to continue to soften. Always drawing gratitude in for everything that the body is capable of, everything that the mind is capable of. And as we are giving gratitude for everything the mind is capable of, maybe for just a moment considering how our mind shows us where those boundaries are. Because we are in a time of uncertainty and a time of change, constantly redesigning and re-understanding what we know to be true, really allowing your mind to be respectful of where those boundaries lie. I'll often say, like, when we know a boundary is being crossed, our mind and our body tells us. Only you can protect your energy. Only you can protect those boundaries that are put in place to protect the energy. We can't expect people to read our minds. We want people to maybe anticipate some of our needs, but we are ultimately the ones that are in charge of that beautiful energy that we need to operate fully to create balance. So start noticing when a boundary is being crossed, identify what that boundary is, and reestablish. Respect yourself enough to protect that energy, because we still have things that we are discovering and figuring out about this new place that we're in. Listen to that intuition. Let it tell you. Know that you are beautifully and perfectly made, just the way you are, exactly the way that you are. I always invite you to show up vulnerably and authentically to show us who you really are. Give that permission to others by showing them how to show up authentically and vulnerably. As you feel ready, slowly coming up to a seated position, bringing fingertips to the earth. Your choice onto whether or not to open the eyes, finding your alignment. And then on the inhale, drawing the arms up. Collect this beautiful energy you help create into the palms of your hands. Exhaling all of that beautiful energy to your heart center. Thumbs to the heart to remind us we are all connected by no mistakes. By no mistakes. So may you be safe today. May you be well. May you be at ease, and may you have peace. Namaste, the light in me, honors the light in you.